So rather than washing your car with just waterless wash it, kind of like I did to that orange M3, that sucker orange M3. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean the hood. You just clayed it.
Yep.
But we'll do it again because we need to get the wax off.
Okay.
And then we'll wipe it down with some IPA or some eraser. And just to try to make sure we get the wax off of it that you have on it. And then we'll start messing with polishes and figure out what works. So I'll use a simple Adams waterless wash. So you got two options when you got a semi-clean car. We got some water spots from sprinklers that hit it. You could do detail spray or waterless wash. If you don't have waterless wash, you can use detail spray. Detail spray is usually more expensive. Since we have waterless wash, since the car isn't, we drove it up here, it's not completely clean, it's sat overnight, I would always use a waterless wash. But this is really the only time I ever use waterless wash, or if I was, like when I took the GT3 up on a trip, if I was going to a car show or something, or like Cars and Coffee and it bugs and I really cared to get it off, then maybe I'd do that.
Pretty healthy spray on there.
Yeah, just load it up. I mean, you can't use too much. Your car's going to be a mess, so you're going to have to go and wash it after this anyway. Windshield. But for whatever reason, I like edged towels. I know most people like edgeless. I like edge towels.
Is that for the lint?
I don't know. I just like the way it feels. But yeah, usually it takes a while for an edgeless towel to stop dropping lint off the side. So notice you have to, if you put the thing in fours, you can't just start buffing the thing out if you don't want to scratch the crap out of it. The other thing is that wax you put on here is not too happy with getting clean.
So see a lot of Ardex stuff.
What?
Ardex?
They're down in Winter Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah, local guys.
It's
See, this is the thing I struggle with because, I would love to create my own line but there's the best and then there's everything else.
Yeah.
And I want to use the best. I don't want to use semi-best. So the chance of some local guy having the best stuff is pretty slim. Oh yeah, we got lots of stuff on here we're gonna get out. Is that paint? Is that overspray? It must be. Oh no, that's wax.
Oh, yeah, I think it's the wax.
So, when you're doing this, when you're water with washing, this is the extent of what you can do. You can't.
Yeah, grind it in.
And most of the time, on this car, I would actually probably never, ever waterless wash the thing.
because of the black.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your car, silver,
Yeah.
sure. This car, I wouldn't do it. We're going to do all this work to correct it, and it only takes 5 minutes to jack that all up. And to do this whole car, to get it right, is probably going to take you, 30 hours, 20, 30 hours to do. So,
Worth it.
Yeah.
It'd be worth it.
and you can do one panel at a time. You don't have another car, do you?
I don't.
Okay, that's
Not right now, anyway.
Yeah. All those water spots were just superficial, they all came off.
That stuff works great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
it's
well.
good. And you just waxed it too, that helps. Alright, so we got a clean hood. Now let's try to get the wax off. So you have a couple options. We can just see what I actually got in field of view here. We can do auto scrub or clay bar.
I actually brought the auto scrub and a clay bar, so we can.
Yeah, cool. We can help out.
that.
With this, let's do clay because the clay will take more wax off
Okay.
than the auto scrub will. And since it's just a small area. Yeah, the big advantage of auto scrub is it's faster, cleaner, neater, easier. This is Nanoskin Glide. They just kind of work it in. See, rather than using Adam's detail spray, I'll use this cheap stuff.
Yeah.
You know, as much money as I waste on this crap, everybody has a limit, you know.
So I got both of these, the sponge and the clay. Which one do you think I should go with?
Good. I mean, either one's fine, but let's do the clay. So with this, with the clay, if you ever clay the car, chances are, especially black, you're going to mar it. You know, you're going to put little superficial scratches in it. So the chances are you're going to need to polish it.
How much do
No.
you think I should take off?
Like this much. Yeah. And then, you know, when just to sort of warm up clay, just kind of pull it.
Knead it.
Yeah, just knead it a little bit. And then with this, I mean, go get it. You know, you don't have to.
You applying much pressure?
Yep. Just whatever. Don't dent your hood, but I mean, I'm not like, you know, jacking into it, but you know, I mean, your fingers should be sore after a few seconds. And on black, you'll leave a little residue most likely. You know, sometimes it gets hung up. We'll wipe that off.
So what do you got in this spray?
This is Nanoskin Glide.
Okay.
Other stuff that's real popular is, I mean, you can use griots, you can use Adams, you can use whatever you want.
So that's just diluted lye?
Yeah, so see the glide on the top right there? This is, you know, because it comes in a concentrate, you put like, you know, 2 ounces and then you mix it with water. So it's just a lot more efficient than using unconcentrated, you know, Speed Shine, Adams detail spray. Cars are easy to do when you got 3 people.
Yeah.
And then you guys too, if you got the 2 of you, you figure if it would normally take you 16 hours, it might only take you 10.
Yeah.
And then once you get it dialed in, it doesn't take as long.
It's just maintenance.
Yeah.
How often would you say you play your car with the?
About every 8 months, 8 or 9 months, you'll be able to tell. It's just dependent on one, when your car stops beating,
Yeah.
which mine did about a month ago. It wasn't beating as much as I like. So the wax was clearly wearing off from washing. So so my test, we just run after you wash it, run your hand across the paint, and if you feel all kinds of contaminants, then you're going to have to clay it.
Yeah.
And if you clay it, you're going to want to wax it or polish it.
Yeah. Is this the Durango River?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the Adams version.
Yeah.
My grandma.
Yeah, go ahead. So, you know, you'll notice it when you run your hand across, if you feel all kinds of crap, then you're going to have to clay it. If you don't, I just threw a coat of Auto Finesse Illusion wax on top. Or another coat of Colonite or whatever. So that'll buy me another couple of months. Largely because I have this whole crazy obsessed garage stuff coming up. So I got some crazy plans coming up in a few weeks. We'll see. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be up on your website or on your YouTube or?
Well, for like a month I'm gonna be MIA, but you'll understand in a couple
What is this?
of weeks. And that's a
We're on
That's a
the
scratch.
middle.
Look what I did.
So, you know, the tricky part here is we don't have a depth gauge, right? So, I mean, I bet you here, you know, the paint is probably pretty thin. We're just gonna have to guess.
Yeah.
If you see any paint come through on the pad, you're basically screwed.
Yeah.
I've never seen that happen, and we'll probably be just fine. But this would be an area, you know, see where, you know, because you have the ridge coming up here
Yeah.
connecting. This would be an area, this would be an area where you gotta be careful you don't hold the pad in there too long. because it'll take you a long time and many times of polishing before you glue through the paint.
Yeah.
But what'll happen is, if you keep the car a long time, then it'll haze and fade, and then, you see like old Honda Civics where the roof, there's no paint left on it. So we just need to be, you need to be careful with some of these curves. Obviously, you don't want to hit the lances as well. So we don't need to tape anything, I don't think. This trim, this rubber is in deep enough, we won't hit that. So here it looks good. And if we overlap on the fender, that's fine. So you can tell, the car, it feels clean. There's no more, contaminants in it. We just got it clayed. So, I mean, this is what you want to, you hope you have the car ready to go before we do any polishing. All right, so let's do this. Let's just IPA it real quick. So this is 20% isopropyl alcohol. Normally you would do this after the polish. I just want to help get whatever leftover wax be on the car off, just so we get a good bond with the polish can really break through and break down the clear. Usually a little bug spot. Might be able to get that out.
I love the love bugs.
If I would have known there were love bugs when I moved here, I probably would have never done it. I would have made that move to San Diego that I wanted to do. Yeah, didn't know anything about it. Alright. So let's try, so this is where the guesswork comes in. Let's try FG400 and a microfiber pad on speed 6. And what we'll do is we'll tape off an area and we'll just see, this is where the trial and error comes in. Then once you get that spot dialed, we'll just do the rest of the car that way. So let's do this. Where's a spot that I can see really well? Do it right here. People are yelling at me all the time because I don't do the before and after, but I'm not trying to sell you on anything. So just, trust me, it looks good. I'm not too concerned about trying to pitch someone on whether this works or not. I'm just showing you what I do. This is what I do. If you want to try it, try it. Now we know this is the area we're going to work, right? And just to make it easier, so I don't have to clean out this jam later, let's just do this. Some kid said, I had the blue, the GT3 taped with green. He's like, oh man, that green looks good. You got a lot to learn. No. It's like, yeah, you should. I know he was getting at, you should paint your trim bright, hideous green.
Oh my god.
Some people like that. Not me. Blue is about as crazy as I get.
And that color blue is like not a typical blue that you get on Porsche, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of the blues people do are the baby blue, like Riviera blue,
Yeah.
those paint the sample blues. I don't like that, or like the M4 or the M3 has the, what is that, Yasmarina.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like baby blue. Call me what you want, it's not my thing. Alright, so here's where all the results of, get the big one out.
That's sweet.
So did you make a line so you can see it moving. See, my new garage, I'm gonna have outlets all over the place. It's gonna be awesome. Built-in drying system. I took a little extension cord into this big one. It's probably in the abyss of her back of her car.
What's the rule with your wife's car? You stay away, or
Yep.
you wash it, or she washes it?
Nobody washes it.
Nobody washes it.
Freaking mess. Here she takes it to a place. But she hadn't taken it to a place for probably 6 or 8 months. That was part of the deal, and that's part of the reason why I lease her car. Leasing isn't always the most astute financial decision, but I lease it so I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
I bought her an A4, which is awesome. It was a titanium package. I think this is 2011, brand new, $42,000 car. And we have my son. I just assumed the 4-door car's cool. What do you need more room for?
Yeah.
And so, we're loading up with the darn baby crap and the stroller and all this junk. And then one day I opened the door, it was a freaking lollipop stuck to the door. I almost had a heart attack. I literally sold it. That, and I think the day after that, she hit a curb, with the 19s, with the titanium package 19s. And I was like, I can't handle this, we're getting rid of this car. So we sold that, and then I leased her this Explorer. But it's been great, because I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the only microfiber cutting pads I have are cutting. So these are cutting pads. Not aggressive cutting, but these are like because I think they have one that's slightly more aggressive.
So you do all your cutting with these microfiber pads?
Yep. You'll still probably want, again, I know that this works on my paint. Microfiber tends to cut better, easier. You still may want, like here's a cutting foam pad. This blue one here. That's a Rupes, cutting foam pad. Yeah. It's not as crazy as you think. Where this feels softer, but I think just the way the fibers are set, it actually cuts just as much, if not more, than that does. But, and I just have experience with cutting with this. It just makes it easier. So we'll try FG 400 and see how this looks. So if this paint is soft, this will dial it in. If it's harder, we're probably gonna have to go a little more aggressive because you got plenty of crap in here. And this is a rough spot because this is whatever they hits first. Yeah.
Stuff tend to settle on the bottom on those polishers. Do you want to mix it up real well before you use it, or?
Yeah, probably. You should also make this damp too.
Regular water?
Yeah, I just put a little on my palm. I don't want it wet, just.
Yeah. Help it glide a little bit smoother.
I don't know why, I know that a lot of pros do it, so I just do it. I think it helps the polish. It helps keep it from gumming up. I'm sure there's a really intelligent answer to that question, but I don't know what it is. And you always have to have one of these, especially if you're using microfiber. Just to agitate it, make sure it's clean. I always just squirt out, there's always a little dry plug in there, you just squirt it out and throw it on the ground.
How much did you put on that pad?
I don't know, that much. Just squirt it on it and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Can you put too much or too little?
If you put too much, you can put if you put too much, it'll squirt all over the place. So, I mean, you want to put like probably on this, 4 or 5 little, little dime-sized dots, and
Mhm.
just kind of squirt it in. If you don't put enough, then you'll see you won't leave enough. It's kind of hard to mess it up. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. So I'll spread on 4 and then dial it up to 6. See, now you're gonna be real careful. I've got like maybe, 10 pounds of pressure. That's 2 passes. I still have the same amount of pressure. This is real tricky here. We're probably going to want to get the smaller one out to get that. Now I'm at pass 4, I'm kind of lightening up pressure a little bit. Six or 7 passes. Let's see what happened. Certainly looks a lot better. I mean, there's a lot of pitting and stuff that and especially on this part of the car, that you're not going to be able to get out. There's some of these deeper scratches. That's pretty good. Taping the residue. See all these thousands of little scratches, they're all gone. I think the FG is going to do it. Man. This other rock chips and stuff, there's nothing you can do about that. But all the little swirl marks, and like you see all these scratches, they're all gone. None of them are there. Yeah. You just imagine when you do this whole hood, And that's a love bug etched. That's not coming out. That's why love bugs are so damaging.
Yeah.
It looks like there's bug guts on there, but really it's etched into the paint. Actually eating through it.
One of the joys of buying a used car.
Yeah, well. Yeah, still. You might wanna- You might want to go a little bit more aggressive. See this here? You got those swirl marks. They're still there. I'm just trying to think. We should make another pass with FG400, or we should be a little bit more aggressive. You know, now that I think about it, this probably wasn't the best part of the car to test. Probably should have done it up here. I mean, it certainly looks improved.
Oh yeah.
But we can still make more. We can still make more improvement. Let's put a line of tape back on there and let's try something else. Let's just see what D300 looks like. Tape.
So you have to use a different pad.
So this paint is definitely not soft. I don't think it's hard, but you know, it's medium.
Stay back.
Yeah, just do it here. Just do it across that line, just so we can have a reference. So this is a little bit more aggressive, from my experience, than the FG.
Do you ever wash your pads?
Yep, and you just go wash it with Dawn in the sink is where I do it. You can throw them in the washer, but they don't come out as clean.
You just let them sit there, or were you kind of?
No, I actually sit there or wash them one by one with, you know, because this stuff is water based, so it comes out pretty easily. So that's a little easy to see how much. It doesn't have to cover every square inch because it'll spread when we use it on the paint. So this is the stuff that's designed specifically for these microfiber pads. I mean, lots of details use different polishes with McGuire's pads, but I've had other microfiber pads and they don't work well. They blow apart. These hold up really, really well. I never even release pressure on this. Keep a similar amount of pressure. Make it be less passive. See the diminishing whatever you call it on the particles that start out as a big piece of sand and they break down as you make more passes. So I don't think this diminishes as much. At least from what I've done. Now the big question is, do we need 2 passes of like 300 or 1? So we're gonna have to move to a different spot after we finish this. So let's see.
That's good.
All right, use that flashlight. Still a little swirly. Obviously not as scratched. See what I'm saying? You can
Yeah.
still see the. Yeah, and this is the question. I mean, how far do you go with this? You know, obviously you
Not
want it to
knowing
be
how
perfect.
thick the clear coat is.
Right. The D300 definitely made a difference, but I didn't make as many passes there. Well, let's finish this. Let's do a finishing polish, just see what this looks like. We can definitely still see. I mean, the big difference is when you get this out in the sun, it's gonna, you know, and some of this will fill in with the wax, but when you get this out in the sun, it's gonna look 10 times sharper than this. But it still looks machine washed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see what happens when we finish it. See if maybe that takes. Some of those might just be from the polish as well. So let's finish with a slightly more aggressive pad on the try. So we're going to go with a yellow pad rather than a normal finishing pad. I'll probably get the right size. This is a fine polishing pad. Let's see how this responds. And let's use SF4000 instead of 4500. 4500 would be a little bit less abrasive than 4000. So since we still can see some swirl marks. See, that's the thing with your car, we won't even be able to see that, even with a flashlight. That's what's so tricky about black.
Would you ever run a black car?
No,
Do you like to use any glosses?
no.
Or
Gloss would be like a glaze, which is a filler. So, no, that's old school. Although CarPro just came out with a new product, which actually might work really well on this, that is a polish and a gloss with a filler. It's like a nano filler, so it fills in all those little cracks. Same amount of pressure? Yeah. how it works. I'm just used to a DA. DAs are just,
For a beginner like me, you wouldn't see difference like that.
yeah, probably not. They're quicker, just the people who use them love them. I mean, it's about as quick as this is. Now I'm mixing it up a little bit. I don't know if this actually does anything, but I do it. Yeah, don't ever lift up because then it'll shoot across the whole room. You gotta wait till it's done. I always forget to tell people that. I don't really think about it anymore because I'm doing it for a while. I mean, it certainly looks good under this light. But let's see what it looks like when we take the flashlight out. See, this is why you tape this. It gets a little gunky. Most of that's your wax. The polish doesn't stick to it quite as much.
IPA would get all that off, I think.
Yeah. You gotta be careful with IPA though, because if you use it all the time, you'll dry out the rubber. Kind of defeat the purpose, right? Just, I mean, the whole idea of alcohol is it dries things out. Pretty significant
Yeah,
difference.
Much better.
Let's try a final finishing. See if we can just dial that a little bit better.
Not seeing any swirls though.
Yeah, you're definitely not. We definitely got the swirls out. There's just still some, deeper. That's a yeah. I wonder if this is toweling is even scratching it. So it might be. Let's try one more pass and see what that looks like. Finishing pad. Can you turn the light back on?
So we went D300, then now.
What we're probably going to want to do, I'm guessing, is 2 passes of D300. So 2 separate, do it and then wipe it down and do it again.
Okay.
And then, this is what we're figuring out now, whether we finish, and we might have to do a 2-step finish as well. all this I'm doing, I would call one pass. If I said cross pass, then it would be one of these. So there's two 6-section passes or whatever they're called. I usually check my towels after I wash them.